Okay, we are doing the Undertaker. This is where the recording should start. I had to start it a long time ago, but we're doing the Undertaker. And no, I have not watched Jade Cargill yet. Not yet. Hi, Hot Boy Bromance. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, we're watching the Undertaker. And we're going to start with his evolution of entrances. And then we're going to move on to his... if you guys have a better video, you definitely can. Send it to me, but we're going to watch... Santiago Snoop, thank you again for the bits. Clap, 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 clap.
Snoop 95 cheered. X6. Definitely watch his last ride documentary.
Okay, yeah, we can. Let me look it up. Let's see how long that is actually. Last ride. I only see part 1. Is it, oh wait, this might be it. I don't know. Link it to me. Link it to me, cause I don't know. But yeah, we're gonna watch this. We're gonna watch the Undertaker. All right, we're starting off with the entrances. From death. Oh, wait, don't play yet. Hold on. Share my screen. Gotta show you guys my screen. All right, here we go. 1990. So is this person gonna be skipping around like that? Cause there's no point in watching this video if they're skipping around like that. I hope not. I know they're trying to probably avoid copyright the same way I was, but. Oh my gosh, he's always so scary. He's still, you talk about you don't look that scary. He's still scary looking right now. Okay. I think we're gonna watch the other one actually. Because I know that one's shorter, but I don't like how he's skipping around. We can't even watch the actual entrance. You don't get the same feel. So let me go find it again. Oh, greatest WrestleMania entrances. I'll just have my editor just cut around it. Yeah, it's just you don't get the same feel because there's too many skips around and stuff. I'm gonna move my camera. All right, here we go. Hi, Caveman. Welcome to the stream. So yeah, we're gonna watch the WWE version instead. It is 30 minutes long, but it's okay. You want commentary from the YouTuber on the vid? No, not commentary. It's just he's skipping around.
Santiago _Snoop 95
This is one of my favorite WrestleMania entrances of his.
X6.
This is like his first
one
ones.
of my favorite WrestleMania entrances of his.
All right, we're gonna watch this. Ooh. He's still definitely. You talking about why people aren't scared of him? He just has that like ominous. Look how even the wrestlers like, oh Lord. Why they dissing this man face like that? Okay, he is pretty scary. That's Kane in the ring. Kane is terrified. He himself. Oh Lord.
Experiencing here in the garden.
What is happening? Dude, the silence too, the way he just sits there like we know this is about to happen. Or a farm, literally. Oh! I'm excited. Yay! I love that.
I guess goosebumps just seeing this again.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is my first time seeing it and I'm getting crazy goosebumps. Oh! Every time the beat drop, I'm scared. And then the hat, he knows what he's doing with the trench coat and the hat. He's like, oh my god, I'm terrified. Talking about now, this is Aura. Everybody move out of his way. Get out of his way. Yeah, no, I'm genuinely scared. I'm genuinely scared. The outlet. Why are he doing that? Chill. Talking about rest in peace, like you just know if he coming out, you're dead. That point blank period. You're dead. I clicked the wrong button there. I don't know why I both played. Lord. Not the vulture. Rot in peace. When was this? Hold on, real quick. Let me see when this video came out, because I want to know if they're gonna put some of his modern. Oh, they didn't. Okay, we might have to find a modern, because this came out 5 years ago, and I would like to find a more modern entrance if he has one.
8 feet tall, 460 pounds.
Oh, I love the logo he has with the rest in peace. I love that. And Undertaker gives off a different kind of feeling when it comes to how he enters the ring. Like, you know, when people, like, for example, when Jeff Hardy's entering the ring, people are all excited and like, oh my gosh, Jeff Hardy. With Undertaker, it's just like they, like, the fans are happy to see him, but it's not like super lively because they know it's like death walking in. Like, who is that he's in the ring with? That guy is huge. Oh god. Dude, I love how he never changed. I don't know, did he change this music in the biker era? Because all I know is this right here, this music is so terrifying. It's just like every time you hear the bell, it's just like, ugh. Shivers running down your spine. Oh my gosh, all that smoke. Oh Lord. Ugh. Don't look like that now! Real quick, I don't want to keep pausing, but I like how they always show the entrance and then they cut to they cut to the person standing in the ring and they're just like they're terrified. He looks like my Elden Ring character. Okay, buddy. So ominous, is that the word?
015 cheered. X100. MJ, if you wanna check out any current female WWE wrestlers of today, you should definitely watch Liv Morgan highlights. She just recently won the Royal Rumble a few weeks ago and will get a world championship.
Mez, come to the front. Come to the front of the class, Mez. Come to the front of the class, Mez. You must have just walked into the stream. We just watched Liv. We just did Liv, like right before this. So you're a little late to the stream. It's okay. It's all right. Bro just came in here. They said that delayed that message. He said that message at the beginning of the stream, I guess. I don't know. Don't worry, Mez. If you want to see the Liv Morgan video, obviously it's going to be on my live channel. You won't get to watch it. I mean, the VOD will be on here as well. It'll probably be muted, but you can watch the VOD too, but you won't get to watch it normal, so. But I apologize. You're a little bit late. All right, back to the intro. Sorry. Excuse me? 200 what pounds? Did they just say 299 pounds? Oh. Well, he get timed out. 299 pounds is crazy. A 300-pound. How tall is he though? Cause a 300-pounder. Oh, he's 6'10". Oh God. Oh God. No wonder he's terrified. 299. Taker used to hoop back in the day. Lie to me again. Undertaker was scaring them in the ring and on the court. Dude is terrified just standing there. Oh my lord. Wait. Is the eye roll? Are we gonna see the eye roll? No? No eye roll? Oh, we can't see his eyes. Oh. No. What is that thing? It's like he can sense death. He knew it was coming. Look at John Cena. Cena is like, oh, hell no. Wait for the bell. Wait for the bell. What? He's like, oh shit. Oh shit. No, don't try to go back. It's too late. It's too late. What was that? What the heck? Hold on, they really be putting on some performances. That was dope. Hold on. Cena's a good actor. That's all I would say because that man is really scared. He really scared. Oh, hell no. Oh, this looks so good. This looks so good. Can you imagine how it feels being in that crowd? The whole room goes dark, flames, those bells. Oh my gosh, I'd be so scared. Oh Lord. Oh my gosh, I would be so terrified. You need to see the 2013 here's all the dead people looking up at him. That's kind of creepy. No, literally, that's what I was saying. Like, just got your stomach turning, chills down your spine. Oh my Lord. And John Cena's just standing there terrified. He's like, oh, you answered the wrong call. Let me redial. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What was John Cena saying about the dead man? Now I need history. See? Now I need some history. Was calling Taker a puss? You calling the dead man? You scary over here? His scary ass over here calling him a puss? Nah, diabolical. But I want to see if they have actually wait, I want to see him get in the ring. I want to see if they have a biker era entrance. I really want to see one. It's like you always know you're bringing back a dead guy. You're gonna get your ass beat. Oh no. So he went against Roman Reigns too? I missed it? I missed eye roll? Did I skip it or something? Look at him! Look at Cena how scared he is. Oh Lord. Even the ref is like, listen, you guys gotta keep it apart for now. Oh my gosh, look at the little circle around him. That's so dope. I love the effects. The effects are so beautiful. Yeah, I probably would have been crying. Okay, real quick. Let me see if I can find a biker. Oh, wait. He took his hat off and everything? I want to see him get naked. Pause. You guys said I skipped it. I didn't skip it. It's right there. There's his eye roll. Oh, he's scary. Oh, he ready to kill somebody. Look at that. See this like. Oh, here we go. Yeah. This obviously was not everybody's favorite era. What was the idea behind the... Those are trash. What was the idea behind the character switch? I'm really trying to figure out why they would... Right, why they would switch from Dead Man to this. You would be wrong, we love this version. I don't know, I've seen a lot of people say they didn't like this version. Obviously comparing it to his Dead Man era. It's okay. I mean, it's only the only interest we've seen of him with this era, so we'll go ahead and stop there. There's still a lot more entrances, but we're gonna go ahead and stop right there. But yeah, I think I think that I just don't understand why they switched.
In real life that he wanted to bring out. It was people's favorite, but we did love the Dead Man more cheer too.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that makes sense. You don't want to sit here and play a character that isn't really you. So I get it. I do. I can also see why people might have missed that the Dead Man era, though. I don't understand why they would do a full complete switch. Okay. It says, if I had to guess, he turned heel and changed his gimmick. Mr. McMahon, sorry, it's so hard with his name because of the H. McMahon did that to a lot of superstars around the time as well. Okay, well, I guess so. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do his best moments. Before we get to his best moments, people in the comments on YouTube, I gotta start talking to my YouTube folks too. So people in the comments on YouTube, tell me what your favorite Undertaker era was. Tell me what your favorite style or whatever it was. I would like to see the difference if people really prefer the Dead Man era or the America's Badass era, whatever it may be. So you tell me in the comments your favorite Undertaker era, and we're gonna go ahead and get into 30 unforgettable Undertaker moments. So this is a WWE video as well. I was trying to avoid doing them, but it's fine. Here we go. His 30. Let's just read it again. 30 unforgettable Undertaker moments. So this might not be matches. It could also be entrances or anything, but it's his top 30 unforgettable moments. We did see this one, right? Did we see this one? Oh no, no, it was on that guy's video. He skipped it. I can only imagine at his debut how everyone is so confused. Like, who the heck is this guy? He's huge. He's terrifying. The music, like, who is this guy? Oh, 320 pounds. Oh! What? Nah, he even messing with the boss of the show? This guy is crazy. Throwing Stone Cold through glass? No. That man crazy tough. I believe he really could throw someone through glass. Oh god. Oh! Okay, first of all, that guy is wild for wearing those leopard underwear. He knew what he was doing with all that stuff jiggling around, first of all. Second of all, why is this man so big? Look at how huge he is when he was standing holding dude right there. What the heck? He's like... He's a tower. Oh my gosh. Start of the streak? Oh, I think you guys told me about that in the chat, about he had a streak going. Yeah, literally, how did he never hurt anybody? Wrestling trunks. I don't care what they are. His nuts everywhere. Disguise as Kane. Oh! Nacho thought it was Kane. Oh.
Where to, Stephanie?
Oh, this man is a menace. This man is a menace. He over here trying to... He kidnapping people, burning stuff, killing people. What's wrong with this man?
Back to that limousine out there waiting for him.
Oh, heck no. No. I don't understand how they do stunts outside of the ring. They was doing some wild stuff in the 90s. They was going crazy. Oh. Dude, one problem, well, not really a problem, but one insane thing about Undertaker, this man is just too big. So he's moving slow, but also doing so much damage. Why are you throwing people through glass and slamming them on tables? He's so aggressive. Oh my gosh, hi Mickey. Tell me some keep rolling. That man slammed it through a table. Oh my gosh, that hurts so bad. Oh my goodness. He's so aggressive. No. Don't do it. At least he landed in something. At least he landed something on somewhere nice. I thought this man was gonna get choke slammed into a table again. Poor Rikishi, man. That big old booty, he landed on so much meat. Let me stop. Ooh. We see why the tombstone is his biggest move, because he putting all that weight on their head, just boom. And the way he puts it like this, so but oh man, I love how every wrestler has a very unique pin. I really love that. They have a unique pin, a unique finisher. I love their whole moveset. Oh, is that McMahon's son? Is that his son or something? Oh Lord. Oh! I know that hurt. I know that hurt. There's no way that didn't hurt. Oh my goodness. It looked like his neck. Oh, Lord. Why is this man coming down with wings? What is this? That bro is Batman. What is this? Bat Taker? That's crazy. Oh Lord. End of an era. Ah! Oh my God! Undertaker is scary. He is really scary.
The demise of the Undertaker.
Rising from the casket. What the? What did he just say? Wait, what did he just say? Did it? Does this man just say me not proud? So I said, okay, that's creepy as hell. Like, that's terrifying. What, one more time.
Of the Undertaker. Indeed.
I'm scared. I'm probably gonna have nightmares tonight. Wait a second! What the hell? Was that man in the casket and then rose from behind the screen? What? I get he can't die. I understand that. It don't make it any less terrifying. What the heck? Oh my gosh. That guy is so scared. Oh! This man broke the ring! Hi, CB Hunts. Welcome to the live. Okay, we're gonna go to the top 10 because we still have to do his, I really want to see these, but we still have to do his, we have to do his backstory, guys. And I don't have a lot of time because I have stuff I have to take care of.
That steel chair.
Oh no! He's on fire! Oh hell no! And he's just running back with his arm on fire. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Don't tell me. This man really don't die. Oh my gosh! Golly, the choke slams. So how are you liking WWE so far? I'm loving it. Actually, I'm really loving learning about all of these characters and their backstories. Like seriously, I feel like I can appreciate it more when I actually know a little bit about them. We're probably, speaking of, so said El Racist, we're probably not gonna do Hulk Hogan. He's a little controversial. I would want to do it. You guys let me know if you want me to, but you know, the whole situation. But stretching. Let's go. Oh my gosh. And y'all pasta checking me? Woo! We've seen this one already. Boneyard match. Did this little skinny boy just try to throw a punch at him? Yeah, this is what you wanted, boy. Well, you shouldn't have asked for it. That was his last match. That was Undertaker's last match.
X2. This was his last match too.
Dang. Oh, right in the balls. Right in the balls. Bro didn't even tap. You almost killed him. I want to give you your flowers, MJ. You started a huge trend on YouTube watching black movies and TV shows. No other reactors was doing it. Only you, so thank you. I appreciate you. CB Hunts, I love you. I can't even begin to tell you how much I love you for acknowledging that. I appreciate you so much. There's so many people that want to acknowledge that, and I am not. I'm a humble person. I'm not one to do, you know, to point that stuff out. But I'm glad that there's some people out there that do realize it. So thank you. I love you so much. I'm glad you enjoy my reactions.
This is outside my
Why he jumping like that? Oh, Lord. Oh. And he hit his face on the floor. Oh, heck no. Top three, top three. Oh, no. Not on the chair. Dang. Dang. 2. Nice. What is this? What? Hold on. What is this? What is this here? What is this here? That wig is, that has to be a wig. That is diabolical. Alright, we're watching the next one. I think this is the match we had to watch, right? Yeah, where he threw Mankind off the cell. We've seen this one too. Let's just watch it again just for fun. There were so many people that were mad at me for laughing at this moment. But I wasn't really laughing. It was more like a, oh, pain, awkward kind of laugh because, oh, damn, you know? Like, I wasn't really laughing. That's his real, that was his real hair? He had a perm? Oh, hell no. All right, number 1. Here we go. Number 1, we have retiring Shawn Michaels. Oh, Lord, he retired Shawn Michaels? Okay. Let's see what he did to retire him. Do him dirty, boy. Shawn Michaels got a bald spot. Oh! The disrespect. Oh, no. Yeah, you're cooked. See? You should have did that. You had it coming. You had it coming, Shawn Michaels. You had it coming. I don't know who Shawn Michaels is. I actually never seen him, but he is also on the list that we could possibly react to. So we'll just have to see. All right. Last thing. Guys, I don't have anything for after this. I have some stuff I have to take care of, so I will be wrapping up stream after this. But we do have to react to the Undertaker story. This video is a little bit long, so I'm not exactly sure how much of it we will watch. It's from 3 years ago as well, so we might actually miss a little bit. Someone said Taker got that pussy-eating tongue. Where's my... Alright, buddy. What do you have going on? Bye, Venompool. See you. But yeah, we have Phenom, the Undertaker story. This is the same guy that we just watched for the Liv Morgan story. I guess he does a lot of backstory, so I went ahead and subbed to his channel, and maybe we can just watch his videos from here on out. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and watch
in the annals of WWE history, Steve Austin, who's remained a constant. He's a figure that could WWE as we take a deep dive into his entire career journey in Phenom.
We might skip a little bit of this because it is 40 minutes long. Like I said, I do have something I have to do. So
story. Mark William Calloway was born on March 24th, 1965 in Houston, Texas, to parents Frank and Betty. And along with his 4 older brothers,
he looks so different. It's so cute.
David, Michael, Paul, and Timothy. The future dead man would grow up in a happy family there, attending nearby Waltrip High School and becoming a key member of both their football and basketball teams. Yes,
so he was a hooper. Okay, I like that. Yeah. Hi, Slim Mickey. I'm doing good. How are you?
And by that point, Mark felt like a natural for the sports world, and that was why, upon graduating, he would begin studying at Angelina College on a basketball scholarship. All before moving on to Texas Wesleyan University, where he would become a star member of their hoops team, the Rams, during the 1985 to 1986 season.
So he was good, but he wasn't like NBA good. That's probably why he became a wrestler.
And that's where it seemed like his career was headed upon leaving Texas Wesleyan then, with him at this point hoping to start a lengthy run on the court. In the end, though,
well,
it would be questioned by Buzz Sawyer. Under a mask.
Someone said I thought it was about the Undertaker, not Mark. Well, we want to know how he got into wrestling, right?
He was 86 when Mark began being trained by Buzz Sawyer. Soon after that, he would get a job with World Class Championship Wrestling, there working under a mask and initially going by the name of Texas Red. And in a debut worthy of the figure he would later
Texas
become,
Red.
his first match would actually see him be managed to the ring by Percy Pringle as he went up against the legendary Bruiser Brody in a losing effort. Following this auspicious debut, Mark would move over to the Continental Wrestling Association for a while, there being managed by Dutch Mantel and working under a number of gimmicks, including
When
to
does he
become
make it to the
embryo
WWE?
of Pierce reputation with his debut-inspired character, one which was described by
I think
Mark
this is
Cal
her.
1990. He would make his debut there, now working under the name of Mean Mark Callis.
No, we want to know the Undertaker. How he get to the Undertaker?
A move as soon as possible. Up with Vince McMahon.
Oh, here we go.
Hulcher Lay, quietly running down his contract from there as he took up a
This is
small
grainy
role in
footage.
the Hulk
You gotta keep in mind this is old.
Hogan vehicle Suburban Commando, filmed in early 1990. And this would put him under the radar of the Hulkster himself, who quickly reported back to his
Rewarding
boss
Buds,
about the
thank you so much for the sub. Everybody say W. Thank you for rewarding Buds, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
potential star that was out there and looking to make a move as soon as possible. This was how, later that year, once his contract had expired, Mark would meet up with Vince McMahon, with the boss surprisingly not seeing much in the future WWE champion himself at this.
Oh, someone in the chat just gave me an idea. Rewarding Buds, actually, the one who just subbed, just gave me an idea. Would you guys want to do this WWE thing we're doing, but with the NBA? We could definitely learn about a lot of NBA players. There's a lot of players I already know about, really, but I don't mind like going in depth into their careers. Yes? Okay, we could absolutely do that. I would love to do that.
Point. Thankfully, this attitude would change, however, and after getting a chance to know him, Vince quickly realized he had to sign the up-and-comer to a contract as, from there, he would begin formulating a new character for him to debut under. And this gimmick, of course, would end up going down as arguably the greatest in the industry's history, the Undertaker, an undead Old West-style mortician hailing
So
from
basically, a movie is what got them on the radar, and then Vince McMahon was like, okay, fine, let's do it.
Death Valley, who apparently felt no pain, and who would dispose of his opponents in body bags after defeating them. Of course, it seems obvious now that this would be a success, but when compared to some of the other terrible gimmicks of the era, it really could have failed miserably had it not been for the man portraying the character and the commitment he showed it, proving the old adage that there are no bad roles, only bad actors.
True.
Yes, Mark fully lived and breathed the role from minute one as, after doing a couple of test runs on the house show circuit as Kane the Undertaker, he'd make his formal debut as a surprise entrant at the Survivor Series on November 22nd of that year, coming out with Brother Love by his side to one of the best entrance themes in WWE history, and quickly impressing audiences when he laid waste to Coco Beware with his signature Tombstone Piledriver, then eliminated Dusty Rhodes as well.
Oh
for
yeah,
good
he
measure.
definitely made a name for himself
After
fast.
that, he would go on a tear through the company,
Hi, D,
destroying
welcome to the
everyone
stream.
he came up against and striking fear into fans' hearts every time he came through the curtain.
Yeah.
One change that did happen here, though, was that he would drop Brother Love as his
Who is this? I was gonna say, who is this Brother Love guy? He is terrifying. He is also just as scary as Undertaker. I'm not gonna lie.
manager, with him reuniting with his old friend Percy Pringle instead, someone who is now portraying the character of Paul Bearer, the holder of the mysterious urn which apparently gave the dead
Oh no,
man
that's what I meant. Who is Paul Bearer? Not the Brother Love guy. Who is this Paul Bearer
all
guy?
of his powers. This then led to WrestleMania 7 on March 24th, 1991, where, in a match that would begin a near 2.5
Lord.
decade-long tradition, The Undertaker would defeat Superfly Jimmy Snuka after hitting him with a tombstone. Following that, he would get into a feud with the Ultimate Warrior, which would carry on for a while, until the Warrior was fired from the company later that year.
Of course
But that
he was.
wouldn't do anything to slow down the dead man's progress as, by then, heel or not, he was growing in popularity to the point that some fans were even beginning to cheer for him. And this would ultimately lead to him not only challenging Hulk Hogan at the November 27th, 1991 Survivor Series, but actually beating him to become the, at the time, youngest
Yeah,
WWE.
they knew, Vince McMahon knew that the fans loved Undertaker. He had to put him at the top. He was such a different type of gimmick, and he was so popular, they had to put him at the top right away.
champion.
They couldn't have him
Due
on
to
a,
the
like,
nature of the-
we just watched Liv Morgan, and she was on a losing streak. They couldn't do that with him.
Finished that night, though, with Ric Flair getting heavily involved, the title would end up being vacated days later. But even if it was only brief, the fact that the company saw enough in their new signing to not only hold the belt, but to get a rare victory over the Hulkster proved just how much they saw in him going forward.
Yeah.
And this faith they had in him would become even more apparent as 1992 rolled around, as at WrestleMania 8, The Undertaker would continue his winning streak when he beat Jake the Snake Roberts and sent him packing from the company for the next 4 years.
I want to know how long this streak was.
More important than that, though, this program would actually see the dead man turn babyface for the first time as, from there, he would become a firm fan favorite for the next few years. But despite his new alignment, this period would be marred by a series of pretty terrible feuds that saw him have to go up against the monster of that particular month, with these usually being people who had limited skill inside the ring, but could match him in size.
Right.
And
Can't
with Mark's
go against all
character at
these
this time
smaller
necessitating that he be less of a great in-ring worker and more of a dominating figure who didn't sell anything, it all led to some pretty terrible bouts as he went up against the likes of Kamala and Giant Gonzalez, the latter of whom would give The Undertaker his third WrestleMania victory at WrestleMania 9 on April 4th, 1993, after he got himself disqualified in the bout. Luckily, though, there was one opponent who the Texan could put on a good match with during this period, and that was Yokozuna.
So he was bad?
As the two would end up
was
having
Giant Gonzalez bad? Dang.
pretty memorable casket match at the 1994 Royal Rumble. This one, however, would end with the dead man losing, then appearing to ascend to the heavens after the fact, something done in the spirit of his supernatural gimmick so as to give him some time off to recover from a back injury. But this did mean he would miss WrestleMania for the first time in his WWE career.
Oh, okay, so he had a back injury. Oh, that's so sad.
Until that year's SummerSlam, at which point
Yeah, he
the
would
run
have
of
to
terrible
miss it.
programs would continue when he and Paul Bearer got into a feud with Ted DiBiase, the very man who had kayfabe brought him into the company, and his fake Undertaker, portrayed by Mark's real-life friend Brian Lee.
Wow.
Yes, at this point, with the growing influence of Shawn Michaels, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, Triple H, and Sean Waltman's backstage clique, the dead man had taken to asserting his influence as a locker room leader by forming his own group to counteract them.
Okay,
With the Bone
I
Street
like that.
crew, as they would come to be known, consisting of, among other associates, Yokozuna, Savio Vega, Charles Wright, the Godwins, and Rikishi.
Okay, is every wrestler a part of some group? Like, is that just the thing that ends up happening with their roles? Because I didn't know that. I thought they were just all solo.
And so respected was The Undertaker by then, not even the clique would dare mess with him as he became the regular judge in Wrestler's Court, an impromptu court held by the performers backstage whenever a perceived infraction had occurred. Meanwhile, as this was going on, in his personal life, Mark was getting married to his first wife, Jody Lynn, with the two later following this up with the birth of their son, Gunnar. Back in the ring, however, the Phenom, as he was then becoming known, would continue his reign of dominance when his character began to morph away from the undead zombie mortician into a more godlike gothic figure who could call down lightning at will and control the lighting of the arena with a simple raise of
Okay,
his
so
hand.
they kind of started to push his gimmick a little bit. He went from being this dead man to and not being able to die to a godlike figure. I guess they had to change it up. Like we were talking about with the whole biker era thing, they had to change it up in order to keep it fresh. So maybe that's why they ended up switching to the
And this
biker
new
era
incarnation
too.
would serve him well, as at WrestleMania 11 on April 2nd, 1995, he would rack up another victory in his WrestleMania win streak when he defeated King Kong Bundy.
Oh Lord,
After
that man
that,
huge.
an orbital bone injury would see him have to wear a face mask to the ring for a while as he continued his seemingly endless feud with Ted DiBiase's $1 Million Corporation. That would be until late 95, at which point the dead man would re-enter
He
the
low-key should have kept that mask. I know he wore it for orbital bone injury, but that mask would have been very terrifying if he kept it.
event scene when he got into a program with Diesel, with this one seeing the two face off at WrestleMania 12 as the Texas boy made it 5-0 at the Showcase of the Immortals. The next night, however, he would face his greatest challenge yet when Mankind would debut in WWE, with him subsequently doing what no one else had been able to do thus far when he
was
repeatedly
there-
got the better of The Undertaker,
He was there on
proving to be a
debut, huh?
continued thorn in his side and leading to them eventually settling things in a boiler room brawl at August 1996's SummerSlam.
So Undertaker and Mankind just had this like everlasting beef. Okay.
And on that night, not only would Mankind shock the world by beating The Undertaker, but he would also steal his manager away from him, as Paul Bearer would abandon his client, with this only serving to take things to new levels of heat.
You evil bastard turning your back on me!
October 20th, In Your House 11, Buried Alive, the two wrestlers would face off in the first ever Buried Alive match, a match that would see the dead man 6 feet under come the end. Still, living up to his status as a seemingly unkillable figure, he would make his return at November 17th.
Yeah,
Survivor
you
Series
can't
to get
kill
his
him.
revenge,
You can't
with
get
him
rid of
now
him.
sporting another slightly updated look that saw him present himself as the more demonic Lord of Darkness. And after finally getting the victory over Mankind that night, the now solo Undertaker would spend early 1997 returning to the WWE title picture when, after a controversial finish to that year's Royal Rumble, he would eventually find himself going one-on-one with Psycho Sid for the belt at WrestleMania 13.
Yeah, well
with his victory
deserved.
that night marking not only the beginning
got
of his second run
backstabbed?
with the top prize, but his 6th consecutive victory on the grandest stage of them all. Following this,
Undertaker was
his most
good.
memorable storyline in WWE to date would begin as Paul Bearer would re-enter his life, now hoping to reacquire his services, given his status as WWE Champion. And of course, initially,
Is that Paul Bearer's new look? What happened? He was so scary. Who is this guy? So that's a crazy close-up.
The Undertaker would refuse this overture, but that would only lead to Bearer blackmailing the Phenom, claiming that if he didn't let him manage him again, then he would
Wow.
reveal his darkest secret to the world.
Oh,
So feeling like he had no choice, the champion would allow his former manager back into his circle, with this carrying on for a while afterwards,
Wow.
up until the point that he decided he couldn't take it anymore, that was, and he instead chose to reject Bearer. And this would lead to the manager revealing his former client's secret to the world, that he had a brother, one named Kane, who had been
wow. You blackmail me to reveal my brother? Wow.
thought dead for many years, but was actually still alive and looking for revenge. Yes, it was WWE at its telenovela best, and in the months that followed,
Bro says WWE at its telenovela best. No, yeah, W lore for sure. This is probably one of the better WWE stories that we've watched so far, honestly. Like, I'm actually intrigued.
Paul Bearer would continually remind audiences that Kane was coming, as he now knew the truth that The Undertaker had been the one responsible for a fire that killed their parents years prior and left him
What?
with severe burns.
Oh!
This storyline then would continue to run in the background as the dead man continued to defend his WWE title over the course of the spring and summer, with it all eventually getting to him and contributing towards him losing the belt to Bret Hart at August 3rd, 1997's SummerSlam. Then, to make matters worse, after getting into a heated blood feud with Shawn Michaels, one which would climax in the first ever Hell in a Cell match at October 5th's In Your House Bad Blood, Kane would finally make his debut to
Oh,
cost his
Lord.
brother the bout in question.
Nah, they were just looking for someone to play Kane for a while. That's all it was.
Bout that would end up being one of the
So the Undertaker's a murderer and wrestler? That's what I'm saying. Like, this is probably one of my favorite lore stories that I've watched so far. But this man is a whole murderer. He kidnapped Stephanie. He can't die. Like, this guy's evil. This guy's a menace. Somebody call the cops.
greatest in WWE history, and the first sign that, when given the chance, Mark Calloway really could go in the ring. Still, this did little to make him feel better following the reintroduction of his brother, someone who, with Paul Bearer by his side, would spend the upcoming weeks and months demanding that The Undertaker meet him in the ring. Unwilling to face his own flesh and blood, however, the Phenom would refuse these demands, leading to Kane instead taking out his rage on the rest of the roster as he laid waste to the
Kane
likes
was
of
just
Mankind
whooping
and Vader
up.
from there. But
He
for as
want
bleak as things
Undertaker,
looked,
stop
at one
playing.
point there did appear to be a moment when the two siblings finally saw eye to eye again, their familial bond able to overcome any hatred between them.
Really?
That would happen in the lead up to the 1998 Royal Rumble when, after D-Generation X had been making his brother's life a living hell, Kane would come out to the rescue, seemingly reuniting the two once more. That
Yeah.
would turn out to be a ruse, as during The
What?
Undertaker's
happened?
WWE title casket match against Shawn Michaels at the aforementioned show,
What?
Kane would come out to cost him the victory. From there, taking the casket his own flesh and blood.
Wow, I thought we was good. I thought we let bygones be bygones.
blood was now trapped in and setting it on fire.
Wow.
But with his apparent supernatural powers, the Texan was somehow able to avoid death once again here as, after disappearing for a few weeks, he would return just prior to WrestleMania 14 to announce that he'd decided enough was enough and he would indeed face off against Kane at the biggest show of the year.
Yeah!
When that match came, despite it representing his toughest
tummy.
challenge yet, The Undertaker
Did he
would
bit
eventually
ass?
put his brother down after giving him 3 tombstone pile drivers, with this taking his record to 7-0. After that, the feud between the two would continue on for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
As the next month, they returned
Yeah,
to take
Kane,
each other on
sit
in the
your
first
mad
ever
ass down.
Inferno
You can't
match,
do nothing
with
to
the Dead
me.
Man winning this one too. Once that was done, the babyface
I
would
don't even know why Kane tried. You can't beat him.
take a brief detour when, while Kane was feuding with Stone Cold Steve Austin over the WWE title, he would instead reignite his program with Mankind, with this one ending up giving fans probably the most insane and iconic bump in wrestling history. Yes, it was at the June 28th King of the Ring pay-per-view that the two would meet
this was
inside
the
Hell
most
in a
insane.
Cell. Though this
saw
time,
this
they would
one.
of course start the match on top of the cell, something which led to The Undertaker throwing Mankind off of it, sending him crashing down through an announce table 16 feet below, in a moment that still, to this day, stands as arguably the most shocking moment in wrestling history. And he wasn't done there, as after chokeslamming him through the cage, then backdropping him into thumbtacks, the Phenom would mercifully end things with a victory after 17
Dude, that's
minutes.
so scary. He beat that man so much. He beat him to a pulp. That poor Mick Foley. Poor
Following
Mankind.
this, he would re-enter the world title picture when he started a feud with Steve Austin, one that would see the two briefly be forced to coexist when they became tag team champions together during the build.
The streak was
By
an
the
accident.
time it got to August
Oh,
30th
hell no.
SummerSlam, though, there was no teamwork
Bro
to be
just
found,
whooping ass.
as they would now go one-on-one with the title on the line. But what made this one even more interesting was that, in the weeks prior, it looked as though the challenger had finally been able to mend fences with his brother. And while
But
Kane
probably
didn't
not.
interfere in the match that night, ultimately allowing Austin to pick up the win in the end, not long after the show, it would be confirmed that they were indeed a unit once more.
Yeah, I
That
like
union
that.
would
That's what I
collapse come
wanted
the end
to
of the year,
see.
however, as by October, The Undertaker would have turned heel on his brother, aligning himself with Paul Bearer
What?
again, and confirming that, yes, he had been the one responsible for his parents' death. This would see him morph his character into more of a dark priest
guy
who
is
wore a
evil.
hooded black robe and sat upon a throne of evil as he formed a ministry of darkness around him.
Oh
An
my
unholy group
gosh.
that included the likes of the Acolytes, the Brood, Midian, Viscera, and the Big Show. And that group really began to heat up as 1999 rolled around. As
So
it was
they literally just made a group of evil individuals. Oh hell no! Yeah, cult. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking
and where
for.
the Lord of Darkness would begin to set his sights on Vince McMahon himself. Yes, in a storyline that blurred the lines between reality and fiction, The Undertaker would enact a hostile takeover attempt of the company, terrorizing the McMahon family at all turns.
Oh, heck
all while Vince
no.
himself would lambaste him for getting lost in the character
What
that had
what
been
was the idea here? Like, obviously he's supposed to be this evil, crazy guy. What is his storyline of him of tormenting the McMahons? Like, what?
created for
I'm
him.
so confused.
But lost in the character or not, Mark Calloway would continue to go after the boss and his corporation,
This
even
man will
going as far as
sacrifice
to
people on
hang the Big
TV.
Boss Man during the best left forgotten Hell in a Cell match the two had at WrestleMania 15. One
the
only worth
heck?
noting for the fact that it took the streak to 8-0. After that, he would try to kidnap and marry Stephanie McMahon in an eldritch ceremony on the April 26, 1999 episode of Raw, something he
guy is
claimed was being done so as
crazy.
to please the mysterious higher power who had secretly been pulling the strings of the ministry behind the scenes. Of course, on that night, however, he would be stopped by Stone Cold Steve Austin, and this would lead to the two facing off for the WWE title again at May 23rd's Over the Edge pay-per-view, a match which The Undertaker would ultimately win so as to start his third reign on top. And so now,
Oh,
riding
Lord.
high, 2 weeks after that, he would finally reveal to the world that the higher power was Vince McMahon all along. Yes, it didn't make any sense at the time, and in
What?
the years following
He said, "Yeah, it didn't make no sense at the time. It still don't make sense now. I don't know what's happening."
It's become infamous for being one of the worst reveals in WWE
Yeah, no,
history.
that was horrible.
Still,
What the heck?
at least he had the WWE title around his waist. That was until the June 28th episode of Raw, as it was then that the Rattlesnake would get his rematch, there taking the belt back home for
Lord.
himself after the two were able to draw the highest
We
rated
definitely have to watch Stone Cold Steve Austin. We have to.
segment in WWE history at that point. Soon after this, the Ministry would disband too, with The Undertaker continuing to work as a tag team with The Big Show for a while, as he took the relative rookie
Ooh,
under his
I forgot
wing.
about the Big Show. We gotta put the Big Show on the list too.
And that period would even see them become tag team champions together on 2 separate occasions, all while the Dead Man began to transition his look away from the Dark Priest he had been into something more closely resembling his real-life personality. The rumored reason for this, if you believe Kevin Nash, of course, is that the WWE stalwart was thinking of jumping ship to WCW, and so was preparing a new gimmick for himself ahead of time, something which seems unlikely given that company's position by then and Mark Calloway's
Right.
steadfast devotion to the McMahon family over the years. Still, he obviously realized that he needed to change things up again regardless, and that was why, after disappearing for a while in September of 1999 to deal with a groin tear and also to get married to his second wife Sarah, he would return at May 21st, 2000's Judgment Day pay-per-view to debut a radically different incarnation of his character, the American Badass.
Yeah, that's a whole different
Yes,
switch.
gone was
like,
the
a
gothic
big
leaning and the
flip.
supernatural abilities, as, coming to the decision that he wanted to play something closer to himself, The Undertaker would now be portrayed as a rough-hewn, ass-kicking biker,
Well,
someone who would come to the ring on his Harley Davidson decked out in
understandable.
denim and leather, all while the sounds of Kid Rock's American Badass, and then later Limp Bizkit's Rollin', would blare out behind him. And while this change was certainly jarring to some, fans quickly took to it as the former WWE champion was able to completely reinvent himself and give his character, one which by all rights should have lasted a year at most, an entirely new lease on life. It would see him become even more dominant
Wow,
than
so
before,
there was
in
a
fact,
big fan
as
base
after
behind
briefly
this.
feuding with Kane again, the two would team up once more to form the Brothers of Destruction. But that didn't mean he wouldn't continue as a singles wrestler too, as it was here that, now free of the limitations of the Dead Man character, the American Badass got a chance to regularly have great matches for the first time against the likes of Kurt Angle, Rikishi, and The Rock. Then in early 2001,
I can't. Oh, hold on. Before I forget, I have to write down. Yeah, I gotta write down some of these people.
he would
Hold
start
on. 'Cause I'm gonna forget. So there's Big Show, Kevin Nash. I don't think I have Rikishi on there. Okay, sorry. I have Stone Cold on there already. All right.
program with Triple H that would lead to probably his best WrestleMania match ever to that point, one which would see him ultimately defeat the game at WrestleMania 17 to take his record to 9-0.
Oh, we don't have Triple H either. I completely forgot about Triple H. Oops. Someone said big booty.
Around this time that it was pointed out to Mark Calloway backstage that he'd never actually lost at WrestleMania, something which the company should play up going forward. Yes, while it might seem like it had been the plan all along, the first decade or so of the streak was pure luck and coincidence.
Right, yeah.
But his next chance to get a victory
Someone
at
just
the
said
grandest
that in the
stage of them
chat,
all wouldn't
that he
come for another
accidentally
year
had a
yet.
streak.
And in the meantime, The Undertaker had a lot to accomplish, namely winning the tag team titles with Kane, something he was able to do on the April 19th episode of SmackDown.
Yeah,
After
finally
that, they
reunited
would
with my
feud with the
brother.
two-man power trip of Steve Austin and Triple H for a while, all up until the point that WCW would invade WWE and start one of the most disappointing angles in the industry's history. And for the American Badass's part, this meant feuds with the likes of Diamond Dallas Page and Chronic, the former of which
What the
would
heck
see
are
the
those?
three-time WCW champion left to look like an absolute geek, and the
What
latter
the
of which
heck?
would give us one of the worst tag team matches in memory. Still, it wasn't all bad, as during this period, the Brothers of Destruction would be able to win the WCW Tag Team titles, then even help to send the invading force packing during the winner-takes-all match at that November's Survivor Series. And as if this wasn't enough, in his personal life around this time, the
hold
former
on.
3-time WWE
Someone said
champion
they
and his
made
wife
Diamond Dallas so wrong, making him the stalker, the Undertaker, and his wife.
Sarah would have 2 daughters together, Chasey and Gracie. Back in the
Chasey
ring,
and
however, with the
Gracie?
invasion over and
Ew.
WCW thoroughly
Those are horrible
defeated,
twin
the
names.
Undertaker would surprise everyone
Hi,
when he
bad
turned
babe.
heel once
Bad-
again.
bad baby.
This time morphing his character again as he became known as Big Evil. Someone who knew he was the toughest dog in the yard, and that if you wanted to challenge him for the spot, he was more than willing to make you famous. Of which led up to
Yeah.
the 2002 Royal Rumble match where,
Ooh!
in a huge upset moment, tough enough rookie Maven was able to eliminate Big Evil.
Ooh!
With this seeing the two
Who? This random guy just beat the Undertaker? Screw that.
feud for a while thereafter, as the legend helped to give the up-and-comer the rub.
Oh no, I don't like
Yes,
that.
The Undertaker could rarely be described as a selfish man when it came to helping others below him on the card, and this was one of the reasons that, come WrestleMania 18 on March 17th, 2002, he was rewarded with a dream match when he got to face off against Ric Flair, there defeating him to take his record to 10-0. After that, during the inaugural draft, he would be picked up by
10-0,
Raw
nice.
exclusively, as he there quickly challenged and defeated a returning Hulk Hogan to become WWE Undisputed Champion. So over the next few months, Big Evil would be required to act as a traveling champion then, going between both the red and blue brands and taking on all comers, as he helped to elevate the likes of Jeff Hardy, all before eventually losing
Yeah, we
the
saw
belt to
that.
The
We
Rock.
saw that in the Jeff Hardy story as well. How big of a difference he made in Jeff Hardy's wrestling
in
career.
a triple threat match that also included Kurt Angle at July 21st's Vengeance. Following this, he would move over to SmackDown full-time, where he would enter into a program with the new champion Brock Lesnar, there helping to put the youngster over strong in a great Hell in a Cell match at October 20th.
Oh Lord, why he
No
ramming
Mercy
him like
that saw
that?
them never once have to leave the cage. Then, after taking another
Oh,
short break,
gosh.
he would return in
Brock
early
Lesnar's
2003 to
crazy.
start a storyline that saw him train newcomer Nathan Jones in preparation for what was supposed to be a tag match, seeing the two take on Big Show and A-Train at WrestleMania 19. Unfortunately, though, Nathan Jones was a terrible wrestler who was nowhere near TV ready, and when the time came to enter the ring on March 30th,
Unfortunately, he was a terrible wrestler.
the whole thing was changed into a handicap match instead, where after beating his
Screw
two
it, I
opponents,
guess.
the Undertaker's streak would move up to 11-0.
11.
By now,
Oh,
however, it felt like this newer
jeez.
incarnation of his character was beginning to run its course, as fans were becoming more and more vocal about their desire to see the
Yeah.
Dead Man return.
Yeah,
And
see,
that was what-
I said it. I said that even if people really did like this era, he had this whole identity with the Dead Man era. So, of course, people are going to want it back.
Why, after spending the rest of the year having good matches against the likes of John Cena, Kurt Angle, and Brock Lesnar, the Texas native would disappear for a while again following a loss to Vince McMahon himself in a Buried Alive match at November 16th Survivor Series, something which was done so as to not only allow him time to rethink where his character was going next, but also allow him time to grieve over the death of his father.
Aww. Oh, R.I.P. his dad.
When he finally did return at WrestleMania 20 on March 14th, 2004, fans were delighted to see him back, not only because they'd missed him, but because, finally, he would return to the Dead Man gimmick, though this
Yeah!
time with something that retained certain
Brought
elements
it
of his
back.
biker character, allowing him to continue to have the great matches he'd been putting on in the years prior. But that wasn't
And since they kind of mixed it in, they did the Dead Man era with a little bit of the biker era. He could still be himself. He could still be happy.
all he brought back that night as, with Paul Bearer by his side
Oh, Paul Bearer. We hate that guy.
once again, he was able to defeat his brother Kane for the second time at the biggest show of the
Dang.
year to rack up his 12th straight win. Following that, he would continue to be managed by Bearer for a while as he got into feuds with the likes of the Dudley Boys, JBL, and Randy Orton, the latter of whom would actually be his opponent at the following year's WrestleMania.
I can't
And
wait to watch Randy Orton because I've seen some crazy stuff going on with him.
This is
I'm
really where the
excited.
streak started to become a thing as, with Orton's legend killer gimmick and status as one of the company's top rising stars, there were many in the crowd that night at WrestleMania
Yeah.
21 who actually believed he was going to defeat the Phenom. This then led to some crazy near falls that left the audience on the edge of their seat throughout, a formula that would be replicated every year from then on in.
What?
Ultimately, though, it would be the Texan who got the victory come the end of the match, taking
So you're telling me Randy Orton was on the come up and Undertaker still beat him?
his record to 13-0.
That's crazy.
And part of the reason he'd been able to keep winning against younger guys was that, having become a fan of MMA, he'd started to incorporate elements of this into his ring work, using submission moves such as the Goga Plata to give him an extra edge whenever he needed it. And this also had the knock-on effect of seeing him have some of the best bouts of his career going forward, as, over the rest of 2005, he would get into a controversial feud with Muhammad Hassan, one which ended with that character having to be pulled from TV after a segment aping a terrorist attack was aired on the same day as
my
the 7/7 London bombings.
Who did that? Who thought that was a smart idea? Oh my gosh.
So, putting this behind him, he would resume his program with Randy Orton, eventually doing the honors for him in a match at both that August SummerSlam and that October's No Mercy. And following his loss at the latter pay-per-view, the Dead Man would be taken off TV.
Vince McMahon? Hell no.
For a month, just enough time so as to allow him to return at November's Survivor Series and stake his claim for one more bout against the Legend Killer inside his own specialty match, Hell in a Cell. Given the match he was about to enter then, this period would see The Undertaker lean more and more into the supernatural elements of his character as, over the next few weeks, he would begin to torment Orton by doing things such as seemingly possessing backstage interviewers and talking through them, and this allowed him to get in the head of his opponent enough
God!
from the time of the
He brought back the... They said, screw that whole biker era. We're going to bring back the fact that he can possess people and call lightning down from the sky.
match on December 18th, he would get the final victory over the up-and-comer, putting things to bed once and for all. So from there, looking for something new to sink his teeth into, the Phenom would get into a short program with Kurt Angle in early 2006 that actually saw the legend not only lose, but tap out to the Olympic hero in a sign of just how much he respected him. After that, he'd prepare himself for his next match at WrestleMania 22, a match that was originally supposed to see him face off against Angle once more, as he became the one to finally end the streak.
We gotta definitely
Before
do Kurt
that
Angle
could come to pass, however, plans would change, and instead, while Kurt was interjected into the World Heavyweight title picture, the Dead Man would face off against Mark Henry in a casket match, one he would win after just over 9 minutes to take his tally to 14-0. And following this, his career hit a temporary lull when he was forced to try and get a good match out of the Great Khali, something which even Mark Calloway...
we definitely have to add the Great Khali too. China is already on the list, man. That's a female wrestler. Relax. I'm talking about men. We definitely have to add the Great Khali too, because the only time I seen him was in John Wick. I think that's the only time I seen him.
He wasn't capable of, as it turned out. Yes, it seemed like his career was taking a few steps back, given how much he'd already proven he can go in the ring, but going through it anyway, he would do his best to entertain fans as they met in the ring at May's Judgment Day, and then again on the August 18th edition of SmackDown.
Woo!
After this, he would get something better to work with when he started a program with Mr. Kennedy that carried on throughout the rest of the year, one which saw the two battle it out in...
Scarlett, we have done... You can go check out my live channel if you want to see all the previous reactions. But we have done Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Roman Reigns, Jeff Hardy, and Liv Morgan. We just did before this one, and now we're doing The Undertaker.
First Blood and ambulance matches, and even led to the Phenom re-teaming with Kane at one point to take on the duo of Kennedy
and Kane MVP. Just keep coming back.
By early 2007, though, this would be in his rearview mirror, as he'd then have set his sights on doing the one thing he'd never been able to up until that point, win the Royal Rumble. So this was how, at the titular show on January 28th, after getting
Look at this nice... Hold on, real quick. Y'all see that nice picture? Look at all of them. Oh, that's so nice.
January 28th, after getting the luck of the draw and coming in at number 30, the Dead Man would end up as one of the final two alongside Shawn Michaels, someone he hadn't shared the ring with since the late 90s. And from there, the two would have a mini match which saw them each tease being eliminated multiple times, all before HBK would ultimately be dumped over the top rope as The Undertaker booked his ticket to the World Heavyweight title match at WrestleMania 23. But as it happened, the man holding that belt at this point was Batista. So understanding this represented maybe the biggest threat to his streak ever, then
we gotta add
the #1
Batista
contender would do
too.
everything he could to prepare, with the two eventually going one-on-one at the big show on April 1st, as after a hard-fought battle that lasted almost 16 minutes, not only would the streak move up to 15-0, but a new champion would be crowned. And this would start a streak within a streak of sorts, as, for the next 6 years thereafter, every match The Undertaker had at WrestleMania would end up being an absolute show stealer, and would solidify the legend of the gimmick itself. But the next chapter in that was still a year away as, in the meantime, now the top dog on the blue brand once more, the Phenom had to defend against all comers, with him successfully doing this for the next couple of months, up until the point that Edge would cash in his Money in the Bank contract on the May 11th episode of SmackDown and take the belt home for himself. And part of the reason this had been done
on such a long streak? Jesus!
That the now former champion needed to take some time off so as to recover from a bicep injury, something which would keep him away from TV until September, at which point he would return to start a brief feud with Mark Henry. After that, he would re-enter the title picture once more when he got into a three-way program with Edge and then champion Batista, taking on the latter in a Hell in a Cell match at November 18th Survivor Series, then facing off against both in a triple threat match at the following month's Armageddon. Despite his best efforts, though, the Dead Man would not be able to regain the World Heavyweight title during either of these encounters, and so his next best shot at doing this would be to enter the Royal Rumble again in January of 2008.
So someone in the chat said his streak went for, what, 23? Is that what you said? 23? His body's messed up badly now. He can barely walk straight. I believe it. Like, doing this for so long could definitely hurt your body in the long run. Like, 20.
And in a moment of retribution, it would be HBK who ended up eliminating the man who had beaten him the year prior that night, with this forcing the Phenom to enter the Elimination Chamber the following month, there going up against Batista, Finlay, the Great Khali, MVP, and Big Daddy V, and ending up winning the whole thing, booking himself a shot at Edge at WrestleMania 24 in the process. By the time the showcase of the Immortals came around again on March 30th then, he'd have spent a full month studying the Rated R Superstar. Enough so that in the match that followed, the Phenom would put on his second classic in a row, beating the champion by submission in 24 minutes and 3 seconds to win the World Heavyweight title again, and more importantly, take the streak to 16-0.
Yeah, 16-0, I like it.
Following this, he would defend against Edge again at April's Backlash. Due to shenanigans from Vicky Guerrero, however, the then SmackDown general manager and on-screen lover of the challenger, the belt would be declared vacant after the bout, with the two then continuing to battle it out back and forth for bragging rights for the rest of the spring and summer. And this would all climax at August 17th SummerSlam, where, once again inside of Hell in a Cell...
Someone said, I was there at WrestleMania 24, and I got injured by the fireworks mishap. I ended up getting $1,600. My emergency room bill paid off, but I never got the 2 t-shirts they promised. Jeez, what happened? What firework mishap?
Texan would retain his belt after chokeslamming the Rated R Superstar from the top of a ladder through the ring. Dang. So now, with his foe vanquished once and for all, he'd spend the rest of the year and heading into the next feuding with the likes of The Big Show and Jeff Hardy.
Oh yeah, this man
continuing
holds
up until the point that, in the lead up to WrestleMania 25, he would receive a challenge from Shawn Michaels himself. Yes, after taking stock their legendary feud during the prior generation and their 2 recent meetings in back-to-back Royal Rumbles, HBK had decided if anyone could end the streak, it was him.
Yeah, okay,
and that was why he would make the challenge that March, one which The Undertaker would accept, and which would see them face off on April 5th on the grandest stage of them all. But what made this one even more interesting was more than just the history between the two men, because
Shawn Michaels is so tiny. Like, why did they think this was a good idea? This man is like a toothpick to The Undertaker.
Christian who would descend from the rafters dressed in white during his entrance that night, HBK stood in stark contrast to the all-black demonic figure who instead came up from the fires below.
I love that they did that though. I love that they did the like white and coming, coming down, and then the black coming up. I love that they did that. The contrast, the opposites, really nice.
Leading the whole thing to be billed as a battle between heaven and hell. And in a contest worthy of such a moniker, what the two would put on once the bell rang has since gone on to be considered by many the greatest wrestling match of all time. One which kept fans on the edge of their seats throughout, and which after 30 minutes and 30 seconds of intense action would see the Dead Man make it 17-0.
Wow.
Yes, it was a career high for the Texas native, and one which would set an impossibly high bar going forward.
This is crazy.
So soon after this, then, he would
take
some
time
off of
ends.
TV to figure out where he was going to go next, eventually returning after a 4-month hiatus to start a feud with then World Heavyweight Champion CM Punk. And this would ultimately lead
I remember telling you guys that I didn't know who CM Punk was. Unfortunately, I did think he was just like a music artist or something. I'm sorry, I didn't know who he was really. But apparently he's pretty badass. He is on the list as well.
And settling things inside of his signature match, Hell in a Cell, at October 4th, 2009's titular pay-per-view, with the challenger getting the win that night to start his third reign with that particular belt. After that, he would hold on to it until the following February's Elimination Chamber where, after undergoing a pretty scary moment prior to the titular match that saw a mistimed piece of pyro scorch his chest and face, leaving him with second-degree burns as a result, he would ultimately be beaten by Chris Jericho after Shawn Michaels had decided to interfere and cost him the title. He now saw this as his best way at getting the former champion to accept his challenge for a rematch. And this would work as it happened, but only with the added stipulation that, this time, if Michaels could not beat his opponent at WrestleMania 26, he would be forced to retire. So with everything on the line then, the streak...
No, this is what they meant by he retired him. We just watched the highlights and they said in one of the top moments it was he retires Shawn Michaels. I didn't think he actually meant retired him. Oh my gosh,
his career match would main event on March 28th.
And you lost!
And while it had huge standards...
Your career was on the line and you lost!
It, for the most part, was able to meet these, with some actually preferring it to the first encounter between the two the year prior. Ultimately, though, once it was over, HBK's career would be the one that would end as, after pinning him in 24 minutes, the streak would move up to 18-0. And as such, the 4-year run of show-stealing classics would continue. After that, the Phenom would take another hiatus to heal up, with the wear and tear of his lengthy career starting to get the better of him now, as it took longer and longer to recover after each big match. When he finally did return in May, he would enter into another program with Kane, one which saw the two feud over the World Heavyweight title across the summer and autumn. But realizing that his time was winding down by then, and that he would be best served putting someone else over strong, The Undertaker would lose all 3 of their pay-per-view encounters during this period. Once in a no-holds-barred match at Night of Champions, then again in a Hell in a Cell match in October, and finally in a Buried Alive match later that same month.
Kane wanted his revenge. What do you expect? He wanted his revenge for his parents. Like you did his family dirty.
And this final defeat would see him disappear from TV once more for a while as he underwent surgery for a torn rotator cuff, something he hoped to get healed up in time for WrestleMania 27 the following year.
This guy has been through so many injuries.
He would be able to do just that, returning on the February 20th.
I think it's probably bad because he's so much bigger, and when you're that much bigger, injuries are way tougher. Like, oh my god, I feel so bad. Literally after every match or every feud, he just has to take a break from television. Like, it's so sad.
First 2011 episode of Raw, and immediately being confronted by Triple H, who, looking for revenge for his best friend Shawn Michaels, challenged the Dead Man to put his streak on the line at the Showcase of the Immortals just 6 weeks later.
Oh god, so scary.
But when the time for that match came, rather than act like the dominating force he had in years prior, the Dead Man was only just about able to eke out a win come the end of things, taking his record to 19-0, but leaving him so battered by the time it was done that he would have to be helped to the back, all while his opponent walked out on his own 2 feet. Yes, the story was now shifting to the idea that, as he got older, it was getting more and more difficult for the Texas boy to keep up his once-in-a-lifetime win streak. And that story would continue the next year, as at WrestleMania 28 on April 3rd, 2012, after not having had a single match for the year leading up to it, The Undertaker would defend his streak once more against Triple H, with this one being billed as the end of an era, as not only would it be settled inside
Is
Hell
that
in a
Shawn
Cell,
Michaels as a ref?
but Shawn Michaels would also be the special guest referee.
Okay.
So for the next 30 minutes and 47 seconds then, all three men would put on a masterclass of storytelling, with them managing to sell pretty much everyone watching on the fact that the streak was about to end when, at one point, the dead man took a sweet chin music pedigree combo and went down for a 2.99 count. But of course, he would kick out of this and, come the
is
end, would
crazy.
reign supreme once more, racking up his 20th consecutive win at
2.99 is wild. I would be screaming if I was in that audience, because what do you mean 2.99?
WrestleMania in the process. Such a perfect moment
10
was
out
it
of
in
10
fact
match,
that
we might have to
after
watch
it was
this
done,
one.
Mick Foley would contact his former rival and beg him to call it a day there, telling him there was no way he could ever top that. And as it happened, there wasn't any way he could. Had it stopped there, it might have been perfect, but unfortunately, things would continue on for a while yet. Sure, there would still be good matches, such as at WrestleMania 29 on April 7th, 2013, when he defeated CM Punk to take the streak to 21-0, but by that point, it was clear that age was catching up to the dead man, and try as he might to hide it, he had lost a step or two. So with this in mind, the result should have been obvious then when, after spending another year only making the odd cameo appearance on TV, and mostly letting his body recover, the Phenom would come back for WrestleMania 30 on April 6, 2014, to face off against former UFC heavyweight champion Brock Lesnar. Of course, at the time, no one believed Brock had a chance of winning. After all, if anyone was going to get the rub from ending the streak, it would be a young up-and-comer
I think from what I heard, Brock is probably one of the only ones that came from an actual sport to wrestling and made a difference. Like, I don't know if there's been any other ones, but he's a good wrestler.
Roman Reigns or Bray Wyatt. And that's what made it all the more shocking then when, after hitting him with 3 F5s that night, the Beast pinned The Undertaker 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring, ending the streak after 24 years and leaving the 75,000 fans in attendance in a stunned silence.
Wow, everyone was just so shocked. Everyone in my chat right now was saying that they were so pissed at this match. They're saying, screw this match, it didn't even need to happen. This piece of hot trash should have never ended the streak.
Yes, it was the moment most people thought they would never see by then, one that's since been described as wrestling's equivalent of the Red Wedding and, ultimately, a sign that Mark Calloway was mortal after all. But at least he'd been able to put someone over strong by the time it was all said and done, as, from there, Brock would become the final boss of WWE, a position he continues to maintain up until this day.
Oh, wow,
As
really?
for The Undertaker, though, well, while many assume that
We
now that
definitely have to watch Brock's story.
Deshaun_07 cheered. X50. Brock and Shelton Benjamin, they were roommates in college on the same wrestling team.
Oh.
at WrestleMania,
I don't know who Shelton Benjamin is, but thank you for that.
Disappear into retirement, that turned out not to be the case, as 12 months later, it was announced he would return at WrestleMania 31 on March 29th, 2015, to face off against Bray Wyatt. Yes, the Phenom wasn't quite done yet, but now, with the excitement of the streak no longer there, and his age becoming more apparent with each passing year, it felt very much like his glory days were over.
Yeah.
Sure, it was nice to see him come back, but there was definitely a sense by then that someone needed to take him aside and tell him to quit before he did any lasting damage to his legacy.
I don't understand why he wouldn't have quit sooner. I know he has this big name, but like they're saying, age was catching up to you. You should have just took your streak, took your legacy, and kept it moving.
Was he by his peers, however, no one dared say anything of the sort. So instead, fans were forced to watch as he limped on for another few years yet, as after beating Bray at that year's Showcase of the Immortals, he would return to reignite his feud with Brock Lesnar in the summer of that year, having an admittedly great Hell in a Cell match in the process, all before slumping back down the following year when he defeated Shane McMahon at WrestleMania 32 in a pretty underwhelming bout. And by this point, it appeared that Mark Calloway also realized he'd missed his perfect moment to ride off into the sunset as, by then, he would become obsessed with having that one last great match that would allow him to finish things up on his terms. Achieving this, though, would be easier said than done, as by now, the years of wear and tear had left his body a wreck. That was why when he faced off against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 33 on April 2nd, 2017, losing here for the second time at the Showcase of the Immortals, he would pretty much stink out the joint, with his hips looking so tender by then that he really had no business being in the ring at all.
Yeah.
And things wouldn't fare much better the following year when he finally had his much anticipated singles match with John Cena, a match that only ended up going for 2 minutes and 45 seconds, with this being necessary due to his physical limitations at the time. After that, he would manage to get in good enough shape again so as to have a full match.
I get it. I get, John, I get what you're saying. Like, that passion and just wanting it to be perfect, I get it. But he should have ended it a while ago. He should have ended it, honestly, when Brock beat him, or even right before then. Like, he's doing all this for this perfect match and the passion, but he's just hurting himself.
Over to Saudi Arabia with WWE over the next couple of years, but each of these would end up faring worse than the last as it happened, with his singles match against Goldberg and his and Kane's tag match against D-Generation X being among the worst of his career.
Wow.
So maybe he would have more luck back at home then, he thought, as at Extreme Rules on July 14th, 2019, he would have his last in-ring bout to date when he teamed up with Roman Reigns to defeat Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre. And sure, this was a better performance, but still not the one last great showing he needed to have so as to allow him to comfortably
what they say? Fucking Oldberg.
Hang up his boots once and for all. Luckily then, he would finally get this at WrestleMania 36 on March 25th, 2020, when he faced off against one of the best wrestlers in the world at the time, AJ Styles. And while this match was originally supposed to take place in the ring, as a result of the global shutdown that happened only weeks earlier,
I don't know who AJ Styles is.
Two would be forced to get creative instead, as they put on the Boneyard match, a cinematic bout that allowed for the Phenom to work around his limitations while also paying homage to all three aspects of himself: the dead man, the American badass, and the real figure behind it all. And come the end of it, after winning and taking his overall record to 25-2, it seemed like Mark Calloway was finally content calling it a day as, from there, he would begin to drop his character in interviews, something he'd almost never done in the 3 decades prior. And this would even lead to a documentary series being filmed about his latter days in the ring called The Last Ride, a series which gave a lot of previously unseen insight into the man himself, and which ended up being very well received by both fans and critics. Since that point, it's been announced that he will finally be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in March of 2022, with this seeming to close the book on his career once and for all. And what a career it's been. As for over 3 decades and multiple gimmick alterations, he was able to stay not only relevant, but at the absolute top of the card as one of the biggest stars in the industry and arguably the greatest gimmick of all time. Yes, whether it was Hulk Hogan, Steve Austin, John Cena, or Roman Reigns, they all had to go through the dead man at some point, and as such, each of them would have to learn that, while they may have been the big dog at various points, when it came down to it, they were all living in the Undertaker's yard. A yard that, whether he's actively wrestling in it or not, will always belong to him and him alone. Well, guys.
Yeah, we like that. That's his yard. All right, guys. My thoughts. First of all, we all knew, like, even if you didn't watch wrestling, especially me as someone who doesn't watch wrestling, we all knew The Undertaker is a demon. Figuratively, but he is literally absolutely insane. He, like Jay just said in the chat, Undertaker easily is on Mount Rushmore for WWE. He is amazing. I do wish he would have ended his career a little sooner. I do think he kind of stretched it out a little bit, but it's okay. It's okay. He had some great matches. He had some great moments. He was amazing. I do want to watch that Last Ride documentary. We probably won't be able to watch it next time. Maybe we could watch it next time. We'll see, depending on how people feeling. But we'll check it out for sure. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up there.